Dokkan Fest releases are finally synced, and we get pity. But should you summon for Dirty Fireworks Vegeta? How's it, everybody? Celtic Link here. We're back for another Dokkan battle video. In today's video, it is that time again. We have a new Dokkan Fest exclusive on its way to both Global and JP Dokkan. That's right, you heard right. We have a simultaneous release because as of this point forward, all future releases on Dokkan will be at the same time. We are full synchronization here. We are excited and we are happy to finally have that here. But the big question remains, should you summon on the first synced Dokkan Fest? Well, there's a couple of factors we need to consider before we decide. Number one, we'll take a look at the unit itself, like we always do. Is that unit worth your stones? Second, we will take a look at the unit's banner, or at least who we assume to be on his banner, and then make a call from there. Will it be worth it to pick up anything off his banner? And then finally, we'll take a look at what lies ahead. Should you decide to go in on this banner, what are you giving up? So, first and foremost, let's lead with this, right? Most players at this point are leading off of the anniversary, the Tanabata UI Goku, the worldwide download celebration. So most of us are pretty dry. So I want to throw that out there. Most people are probably going to skip anyways due to lack of stones. I want to get that right out the way right now. So we're mainly focused here, right, if you're considering it. So here we go. Let's go ahead and let's take a look. So this dude is a Planet Namek Saga Gifted Warriors Inhuman Deeds category key 3 HP attack defense 170%. He gets an additional HP attack defense with 30% for Dragon Ball Seekers or Pure Saiyans. His super attack effect will greatly raise his attack and raise his defense for the turn, and he causes immense damage to the enemy. He has an instant animation that he activates once only. He gets key 3 and attack defense 180% for the rest of battle when facing only one enemy at the start of his attacking turn. He's got attack and defense 50% per key sphere obtained up to 500. Now, understand that he is a stacking unit, so that's why they capped that, right? Like, imagine if he was stacking and still picking up max orbs every single time. That would be wild, right? 24 every single time. You're talking that with a unit that's greatly stacking, he's going to spin out of control real quick. So I do understand why they have that. I don't like that they did it, but they did do it, and I understand it. Now, he also randomly changes key spheres of a certain type to rainbow key spheres. He reduces damage received by 30% with a chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack 18% with AGL key spheres obtained, or 5 or more key spheres obtained. And he has an additional chance of evading enemies' attack, including super attack 30% and an additional damage reduction 18% when attacking if HP is 50% or more. If HP is 50% or less, and he gets an additional 50% and a high chance of performing a critical hit for the next turn onward. After he performs the 5th super attack, he changes all key spheres to AGL key spheres at the start of the next attacking turn, and for the character's attacking turns going forward. He also randomly changes key spheres of a certain type, AGL excluded, to AGL key spheres. So, all in all, he is doing a lot, right? He's kind of a semi-nuker through his passive, but again, he is capped out because he is stacking. He does have an active skill that will massively raise his attack temporarily, causes ultimate damage, and increase his attack by 50% for the rest of the battle. So it's definitely worth doing. You can activate it 4 or more times. He's wild, right? For a Dokkan Fest, he's pretty good. I don't know that he's the best Dokkan Fest UR released this year, but he's definitely up there. I don't think he's doing as much for the team. It could just be because of where his teams are currently at, right? But he is doing pretty. He's just not doing as much as some of the other TURs are doing. So it's not to say that he's bad. He's just kind of there. He's good. He's great. He's in the top 10 of TURs this year. He's just not doing anything more necessary for a team than, say, Tech Vegeta is, who also shares the same name. So I just want to throw that out there. So given that, the unit is good. If you summon the unit, you're not losing anything, especially since the banner does have Penny. But I do think that this is one of those rare cases where the unit itself may not be worth the immediate summon, if only because, again, he's not doing a whole lot for the teams that his teams need, right? Planet Namasada just ain't where it at right now. Gifted Warriors has better, right? You're not really running Gifted Warriors right now unless you're running the hybrid Saiyans with the Goten and Trunks variant, and Inhuman Teeds is pretty much covered by the Broly, so. That is to say, though, he is a major buff for Agl Frieza, so, I mean, that is worth noting. Well, before we jump into that one, Vegeta himself, not really worth the summon this time around. So it's one of the few times I've ever said that for the unit itself, but it's just simply knowing where he stands in comparison to the other TURs this year. So that moves us into the next category. Well, what could be on his banner? Is the banner at least worth your summon, especially knowing that the banner includes guaranteed featured step-ups? That's right, like yellow coin banners, his banner, now we don't know who's on it, will include guaranteed featured steps, right? So your first two multis are regular 50 stone multi. Your third multi is a 50 stone multi that includes a guaranteed featured unit, and you can repeat that 7 times all the way up until at that point you will have reached enough coins to pity this unit, right? So, and we do know that for a fact thanks to the last producer letter, and we've already seen in the data download the coins that will be made available, so this is pretty much given. So, well, who's on that banner? Who could you possibly be picking up along with him? Well, for starters, right, it's time for one of these two units to return. JP is a little ahead of us in terms of returning units, right? They just got Topo to return on Roshi's banner. This banner over here. No, here, where is it? Oh, did I not save it? Okay, well, Roshi's banner is coming, and on his banner, return the Topo. But otherwise, Global is pretty much on par with them, is pretty much on par with releases in terms of catching up. I think the only unit we still need to return is the Int Androids, but I don't think they're going to return on this banner. And seeing as all releases are going to be unified moving forward, I think we're just going to chop this one up as a loss and get whoever the returning featured unit is, which should be the Dokkan Fest Agl Frieza, or it's entirely possible that usually on the JP banner, usually the JP banner for this month returns the Saiyan Day unit. So one of two things could happen, right? Frieza can be on the banner because he matches Vegeta's leader skill, so he could return on this banner. Or Vegeta can return on this banner since it is the Saiyan Day time. Or Global could do what, or Global and JP could do what Global normally does, which is save the Vegeta for the Halloween banner, in which you have some guaranteed steps, and then return the Frieza, right? I think one of those two options is going to happen. Either Vegeta is going to be on it, or Frieza is going to be on it, and Vegeta will return on the Halloween banner. Other than that, the rest of the banner is just going to be your typical matching Dokkan Fest units. So we'll probably have like STR Namek Goku, Ginyu on here. We might have, possibly, we could see another recent returning unit, like, I don't know, Gohan and Piccolo could be on the banner again, or maybe even like Super Trunks or Android 21. It's been a minute since she's returned, so I could see Android 21 being on this banner. It's really hard to say until the banner itself drops. We also don't know who the Dokkan Fest EZA is either. We know who, I mean, I guess I would say Full Power Frieza could be on this, but knowing that he's the Super EZA, he's more than likely getting his own category banner, so I doubt he's going to be on here. So We don't know who the Dokkan Fest EZA is for the banner. It'll probably be somebody within this leader skill for Vegeta on Inhuman Deeds, Gifted Warrior, Planet Namek Saga. But as we talked about in our previous videos, there aren't many options that, in fact, most of the options are LR. So honestly, the banner's not looking that hot other than the return of Vegeta or Frieza. Now, I will say this. If Vegeta is on the banner, to me, that makes the banner incredibly valuable, and I would say that puts it in a category of a must-summon, because this Vegeta is a must-have for TURs released in this year, in their entirety. Of all the units you should get in terms of TURs, it is this Vegeta. He is such a good unit, leading Super Saiyans, leading Vegeta's family. It's just, and he's on a lot of teams that have released this year, so honestly, if you can get him, I would go for it. If you've got the coins, obviously go for the coins. But otherwise, all in all, if he's on the banner gets my recommendation for a summon. So that's one. That's none in the category for the unit. That's one in the category for the banner. So all that's left is to take a look at what lies ahead. And you guys have already kind of seen it. So the thing about what lies ahead is Global is still in a weird position. We don't know when we're getting this banner. Probably Christmas time or November time, or this banner. Probably Christmas time or November time. They did specifically mention the thank you celebration in the producer letter, so I can entirely see these two showing up in November. But then it begs the question, what are we going to do with JP's Dokkan Fest release during this time? Who knows, right? But these guys got to come soon. So if you missed out on the 8th anniversary or 9th anniversary LRs, this is going to be your chance to summon for them. I don't recommend using stones, but I do know most players who miss out on the 9th anniversary do end up spending stones on this banner, right? There are a lot of people who try to get the banners in. I mean, it does have quite a number of featured, but it's still it's going to be one of your only shots to get Tech UI Beast and these guys, not returning till the 9th anniversary. This guy won't return till Saiyan Day, so it'll be a minute before you can get your hands on these guys again. So just be aware that is coming. Jiren is also coming, although he's less of a must summon than some of the others, right? And then, of course, we got Dokkan Fest Roshi. Not really that relevant, but, I mean, he's good. You just don't need him. This banner will be dropping sometime soon to catch up on any of these you missed. These guys could possibly be getting an EZA, so if this drops as the Halloween banner like it did last year, we got a version of this for Halloween last year. With these, if these guys could... There's a non-zero chance these guys could be the EZAs for this celebration, so... This could be your chance to pick them up, so just be aware of that. It's just a single 100 stones, and you get a guaranteed featured. So it could be worth it if they end up getting an EZA. There's also the Peppy Gals. The Peppy Gals isn't worth a summon, but it's worth noting that it is there, especially because of her, right? When we do finally get the Goku and Frieza stage, she's very helpful for the Universe 11 mission. So I mean, just throwing that out there. But realistically, none of these banners are out of your way important, except for one, and that banner's not coming till the end of the year, and that is the Extreme and the Super New Year's Dokkan Festival, which will show up at the end of last year, right? This banner did show up right before New Year's, and it's basically a series of steps that allow you to gain guaranteed featured units all the way up till you get a guaranteed right? So this was last year's version of it, which took you all the way up to the most recent, well, not the most recent release, but the most important release, which was the Goku, God Goku. So basically the way it works is your first step is an EZA Dokkan Fest. So on the Super Class banner, it's a Super Class version. On the Extreme Class banner, it's an Extreme version. Next step gets you a guaranteed Yellow Coin LR from this series, right? Extreme and Super variants. And then, of course, this one gets you guaranteed banner units and one of these guys. The next one after that guarantees you an LR, Yellow Coin LR, up to Bulma was the most recent. So this year it'll be up to Ultimate Gohan. And then the final one gets you a guaranteed Worldwide Celebration LR or a one of these TURs here. So it was a good chance to pick up God Goku or World Tournament Goku if you had missed them previously, along with one of these banner units. And then the same thing on the extreme side. So on the super side of, or so for this year, right, this is going to be Zamasu and Vegeta here, and then the Agl Sans here, and the cooler here. So this would be, I mean, it's a wonderful chance to get some LRs, and it's probably the last major place players should summon if you're a newer player, right? If you're an older veteran player, it's probably not that valuable to you, other than maybe the chance at LRs. But if you are a brand new player, this is going to be extremely valuable for you. So you should be trying to save at least 400 stones to do 2 steps, or to do 2 rounds, 1 on each version of the banner. That's realistically what you should be doing. But otherwise, the rest of your stones should be saving up for the 10th anniversary. We're already beginning the countdown for the 10th anniversary. We'll be collecting coins and getting stones from now all the way up into February, when the 10th anniversary will kick off. We have no idea what it could be, but now knowing that the anniversary will have this new pity system, we want to make sure that we're dedicating the most amount of our stones. So in knowing that that exists, I can't in good faith recommend any major summon, especially on a banner for a random Dokkan Fest, as much as I like this Vegeta. So that's none in the category for the unit, that's only 1 in the category for the banner, and that's only if it has Vegeta, and that's none for what lies ahead. Realistically, it's just not worth it, even though there is pity, right? If you're a pay-to-play, low-to-play player, you do have a shot at picking him up pretty quickly, right? We have tickets. We know how tickets work on pity banners. You will get... It depends on how they handle this. If these are the group multi-summons, right, where you get 20 featured, you will get coins for that. And then, of course, you'll get coins for every multi you do. I mean, realistically, you can get as low as 300 stones spent, like if you do tickets and coins, depending on how many units you pull. So it could be worth it if you're a pay-to-play, low-to-play player. But otherwise, I would say most players just steer clear of this banner. I can't even give it my normal tiered recommendation, even for paid players, right? You're probably better off just saving, unless, of course, you're just trying to get your stab at getting Tech Vegeta if this is when he's showing up. So, guys, unfortunately, this is one of those few times where I gotta recommend no across the board. But hopefully we have some better options down the line. So guys, that's it for the video. If you liked the video, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. And in the comments down below, let us know, will you be summoning for Dirty Fireworks Vegeta? Let us know in the comments down below. Of course, this is always just my recommendation. You don't have to follow it, but I'm curious to know what you guys are thinking in the comments down below. Otherwise, guys, as always, thanks for watching, and aloha.